What's up, Korea Boos? My name is internetsnathan, and I watched almost every single K-pop survival show out there. Cause I've been wondering for a long time now, are K-pop survival shows a good idea? Obviously, the whole survival show concept has been very popular even before the iKON produced series, and still to this day. But is it successful for the groups and the idols that come out of these survival shows? If you clicked on this video and you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more new content coming out, because I got some interesting topics to talk about soon. So I watched all of these shows that created the groups that shut down the game in K-pop these days. Some small shows and some average shows, and of course, the largest of them all, the produced series. So, the best way to achieve that is a tier list. I'm a YouTuber, I mean, we can barely do math. I'll be grading these survival shows on a grade from A to F, depending on the success of the groups that come out of the respective survival show origins, and determine, is it really worth to put yourself through this? Few of you might not know that Momoland was created from a survival show. Finding Momoland was created by the company Double Kick themselves and featured 10 trainees. It was simply a typical survival show, really nothing noteworthy happened. However, in the finale, 7 trainees were selected. Well, Daisy was originally eliminated, but the CEO called her back to meet the next day, telling her that she will be joining Momoland after their debut promotions. In the same confession by Daisy after she left Momoland in 2019, she said the whole show was rigged and that the company was holding a debt over her for just competing on the show. However, the company revealed it was in the contract that these trainees signed to have them pay off their debt for appearing on the show after they debut, which is honestly a horrible idea. But it's nothing new. Like, it's not surprising for a middle to small sized K-pop company to do something sketchy like this. After the show, Momoland's rookie year kind of went, well, how do I put it? Like me trying to survive the first time watching Anti-Fragile.
I like it. I love it.
It looked like Momoland was going to disappear into the unknown, another girl group in the sea of other girl groups. But then, Boom Boom saved them. It was such a mega sensation that Momoland is still in the top 25 in brand reputation in Korea. It maintains decent album sales despite losing Yeonwoo, Taeha, and of course, Daisy. Now, since it wasn't the show that made Momoland, but the song Boom Boom, I would give Finding Momoland a D tier ranking. Alright, let's get a little bit more modern with Mnet's most recent survival show, Girls Planet 999. Now, this show came at an interesting time, since it was the first survival show project after the produced series, which was tossed in the trash after the whole voting manipulation scandal happened. Mnet said they wouldn't make another survival show again. Surprise! They lied, bringing 999 trainees and idols from China, Japan, and having them compete with Korean idols and trainees to debut in a temporary group. Of course, with the budget and influence Mnet has, the level of talent they were able to bring into the show was higher than most survival shows on this list. And going international with it by pulling trainees from Japan and more significantly China, brought us and K-pop very skilled singers, rappers, and performers. So the show itself was basically the same thing as Produce 48. Literally. They could have seriously called it Produce Screw You Guys, We Do Whatever We Want and You'll Watch It and Love It Anyways 999. The debuting team is made up of 1 Chinese member and 2 Japanese members. That helps with Kep1er's worldwide recognition. Something they don't need help with is popularity in Korea, as Kep1er just became a million album seller in Korea, and as a group, they're very recognizable by the public. With Kep1er songs being that epitome of K-pop and K-pop sound and trendy, and for the fact that they have Hikaru in the group, automatic S tier. Although they are not a permanent group, but for sure, after the group disbands, each member will carry their own popularity from the show and from being in Kep1er. No doubt. Now, I'm not too sure, but this next show might be the most expensive survival show in K-pop history. Probably because of who made it. Island premiered in 2020 and featured some big influential names behind big hit music, now known as hybe labels now. And of course, the same people behind BTS. Bang Si-hyuk was among the producers of the show, and from the 23 contestants, only 12 would debut. It It was a pretty diverse trainee pool from athletes to trainees from different nationalities. Aside from the atmosphere created from the totally original set in the middle of the forest, the process was relatively the same. Trainees would be routinely evaluated, and if they fall short, are sent to the ground, where they have to rise up to the occasion in the next evaluation. Eventually, the final 7 were selected by the public, but you know them now as ENHYPEN. From the day they debuted, ENHYPEN kept on getting bigger and bigger. So much so that with English speakers in the group, ENHYPEN was able to go on their own solo world tour less than 2 years after debuting. So it's a safe bet to put Island in the S tier. Okay, Mnet got a little creative with this one. Idol School looks exactly how it sounds. With a whole school theme with a homeroom teacher and principal, Idol School brought out 41 trainees to enroll for a chance to graduate in a new girl group. The show did a good job in creating the whole world to be invested in, with some trainees that have appeared on other shows and even influencers. Idol School over the course of 11 episodes narrowed it down to the final 9, known as MIXNINE. Within the first couple years, MIXNINE didn't do too bad in album sales and even brought home an end of the year rookie award in 2018. Things didn't pop off until the release of back-to-back hits Love Bomb and Fun, which, if any of those play in public, I'm turning up for that, man. But let's get into the massive career change that probably ever happened to MIXNINE. So unlike most survival shows created by Mnet, MIXNINE is a permanent group. So first off, the company off the record managed the group, who also managed other produced groups. Then it was Pledis Entertainment who took over. Then in 2020, Hybe labels bought out Pledis, making MIXNINE technically a Hybe artist now. With that being said, I really don't need to explain why Promis' success is S tier, with the songs later on that got super popular, and now being a part of the largest entertainment company in Korea. Idol School was just the beginning, with Hybe being the major reason. So Idol School gets an A tier. If I'm very honest, I didn't know much about this show or anything about it until I made this video. But last year, JYP and P Nation, Psy's new agency, teamed up to find 2 boy groups to debut, one under each company, in the survival show called Loud. Now, the twist to this show is all of the contestants are babies. Okay, maybe not babies, but really close. They were accepting trainees born from the year 2000 and up, and contestants would be challenged in more than just singing, dancing, and rapping, focusing more on the music production and composition side of K-pop. So far, out of the 2 debuting teams, P Nation's team has been the only group to debut so far, with JYP's group set to debut next year. And TNX has only been active in K-pop for barely 6 months now, and hype around the new boy group is definitely there with impressive album sales, but they need a little bit more time for people to know who they are in Korea. So it's a little too early to say that Loud has been a success for TNX or even JYP's pre-debut group, because they didn't even debut yet. So we'll put Loud in the to be determined section. Oh man. Okay, this is what happens when a survival show goes wrong on so many different levels. One of the last survival shows YG Entertainment ever produced, MIXNINE, centered around YG founder Yang Han-seok going from agency to agency in Korea. 70 in total to scout trainees to join the show. 400 trainees auditioned and only 170 were accepted. Okay, so probably the most insane part of this show is the faces you recognize as trainees back then who are probably your biases today. Hongjoong ATEEZ, Jiu from Dreamcatcher, Heejin from Luna, Luchin from ITZY, and so many more. Come on down to the K-pop Idol Emporium. We got an idol for you no matter what your taste is, from the failed show MIXNINE. And that's the thing. After the finale, 9 boys and 9 girls were selected to debut. The debut they thought they rightfully won. And that debut wouldn't happen. YG for some reason switched it up and wanted a 3-year-long contract, even though the original agreement was to promote the groups for only 4 months. And so due to the contract disagreement, the whole show, although finished, the debut was cancelled. But if you actually kick back and think about it, if this actually went through and was successful, you probably wouldn't have the groups that you love today. Or at least they would look totally different. So for that reason, MIXNINE wasted everybody's time and gets an easy F rank. I don't want to spend too much time talking about My Teenage Girl, aside from the fact that it sounds like a slice of life anime that nobody ever watched, because the whole show focused on girl trainees who are 10 years old or older. But the group that was the result of the show is Classy. They debuted this year, so it's too early to say if they are successful quite yet. Also, the girl group competition this year, like right now in K-pop, is outrageous. So for now, let's put My Teenage Girl in the C tier. Now we're gonna take it all the way back to 2014. Starship Entertainment only had Sistar and K-Will under their name, so they produced their own survival show called No Mercy. I know it sounds scary, and it was advertised as a more mature survival show, but the final 7 debuted as Monsta X. And let's just cut to the chase. Monsta X has not only been a top boy group for years now, but they are one of the first and few who helped with the influence of K-pop on a global scale. No Mercy gets an S tier. Alright, let's knock out both of these shows at once because they're kind of like a 2-part series. I'm talking about Win Who's Next and Mix and Match. Alright, come here close, listen. If you want to make a near perfect survival show, take a look at these shows that YG Entertainment produced. At the time, YG was still that iconic K-pop agency with Big Bang and 21 still around, but YG was on their search for their next big thing, that being a boy group called Winner. But first, they had to find a winner between Team A and Team B, pre-debut teams under YG that were already formed for the show. Now, what makes this such a special survival show and my favorite of all time is the performances. The raw emotion from these trainees still gives me chills. While Team A won, YG liked Team B so much and wanted them to win that he created Mix and Match the following year. Mix and Match wasn't as emotional as Win, but it still gave us iKON, which is a win to every K-pop fan. As far as successful survival shows go, it doesn't get much better than Win Who's Next and Mix and Match. Winner was literally the first group to be called Monster Rookies and swept all the awards, and iKON followed close behind. Both shows deserve to be S tier. Now, I can't make this video without mentioning the series that kicked off the whole K-pop survival show phenomenon. Everyone and their granddad watched the Produce series, from Produce 101 to Produce X 101. Over 3 years of witnessing a survival show free-for-all, companies would jump at the chance to send their trainees to these shows to debut, or at the very least, get some popularity and bring it back to the company to debut in their own group. But apparently, some of the companies were too excited for their idols to debut that they offered special treatment for the producers of the show in hopes their trainees would rise up the ranks. That was supposed to be determined by fan voting. But that's old news. First, Produce 101 made IOI, and since this started the whole series that took K-pop by storm, it was for sure a success. S tier. Next is Produce 101 Season 2, with 101 being the result. They posted outstanding sales numbers that would be impressive of a group that debuted today. Produce 101 Season 2, S tier. Mnet switched it up a bit with the next installment, Produce 48, opening it up to Japanese contestants, specifically Japanese idols from the girl group AKB48. As a result, this season created IZONE. Again, it was a home run. IZONE easily conquered Korea and Japan, and still, their popularity of the iconic group lives on in the groups where former members are now. Produce 48, of course, S tier. The Produce series was on a roll. They can't fail now. Going back to their old style, Produce X 101 debuted 11 boys in a group called X1. And upon debut, they set a new record for the most albums sold for a debut in a week. They were on track to surpass 101. But through the most unfortunate luck, the voting manipulation scandal, for whatever reason, caused X1 immediate disbandment, literally 6 months after debuting, making Produce X 101 the only season to be a failure. Listen, 16 may not have had the biggest budget or flashiest promotions, but what it did have was personality.
딱딱한 라이스 페이퍼. 뭐 할 것? 빠니 당근. 그리고 마지막에 마사를
JYP Entertainment took 16 of their brightest trainees to see who can get that debut spot in a new girl group. It didn't have Mnet's trademark evil editing, so there wasn't much suffering to the show. Oh well, except for Nayeon, who had to sing I'm Gonna Be a Star for over 16 times in a song. It seemed like the final lineup was set until the surprise addition of Momo by JYP himself. TWICE was now formed, and with every single comeback, TWICE outdid themselves. Every single album topped the last till the last one this year, selling over 1 million copies. TWICE are the nation's girl group of Korea. There is no denying it. From 16 to now, TWICE has done something you probably will only see 1 in a million times. S tier. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, wait. YG produced another survival show after the horrible thing that was MIXNINE? Yep, this is YG's Treasure Box. Brilliant title, but similar concept to Produce 48. They introduced the YG trainees they had and then was like, there sure are a lot of trainees around you competing to debut, huh? It would be such an exciting twist if we somehow had trainees in Japan in secret that nobody knew about coming over here to significantly decrease your chances of debuting, right? But you wouldn't do that to us, Papa YG, would you? Ah, my boy, you're so wrong. So yeah, the K-pop battle royale ensued and 12 were left standing and became Treasure. And funny enough, they wanted YG to pull another winner and iKON situation. YG thought, you guys are smart. That's a fantastic idea.
Smart.
So they went ahead and announced debuting that group and calling them Magnum, and having both Treasure and Magnum combined to make one big supergroup called Treasure 13. Like what SM Entertainment did over there with NMIX. Kind of like what SM Entertainment did over there with NCT. They couldn't pull it off though, as 2 trainees from Magnum left the company. YG then scrapped the whole idea. But we did get Treasure, which looked really promising upon debut, but has since been a bit up and down, with the biggest problem to their rise being the absence of their main vocalist Bang Yi-dam and main dancer Mashiro. Treasure is now 2 years into their career and it's been relatively positive, but I feel like they aren't living up to their potential. So with that, I'm confident in putting YG's Treasure Box somewhere here in the, B tier. Well, that's it. Now, that may not be all their survival shows out there, but those are all the big name ones that created notable K-pop groups. And in the end, if you're looking at it analytically, K-pop survival shows do work. So the whole genre of K-pop survival shows will continue to be a thing in K-pop, probably till the end of time. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new here, so we can grow an army of Korea Boos to take over the universe one day. But anyways, Korea Boos, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.